Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome to episode 48 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I'll be your co-host today.
I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And on episode 48 today, we have a relatively shorter one. We usually do 3 movies because there's been so much coming out, but we only have 2 movies to discuss today.
Yeah.
One of which was in theaters, which is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which we've both been looking forward to for a while. And then last episode, I recommended us to watch the movie Logan, just to sort of prep us for Deadpool and Wolverine, which the tickets actually went on sale today. I actually copped my tickets already.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, because I looked on our local AMC, the IMAX screening. Like already today, there's a bunch of seats taken. So the movie
you think it's gonna make $1 billion?
Yeah, I would say easily. I mean,
I don't think so.
You don't think it will?
No, I think it'll make like 700 to 800 million.
I think it's gonna get that bill. I'm trying to think. I don't know if the other Deadpool movies got that far, but
I don't think so.
Well, if you think about something like, say, Doctor Strange 2, it's like a similar situation where it's all these teased cameos and all this. That didn't get to the billion mark. So,
yeah,
I guess you could be right, but I feel like the having Hugh Jackman back is like enough.
Yeah, they're gunning on that. I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. Anyways, yeah. So we could start with the first film, which I mentioned is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this is actually a continuation of the Planet of the Apes trilogy that came out recently, or somewhat recently. I forget the years.
Yeah, the last one came out, I think, like 2011 or 2013 or something like that.
2 of them were directed by Matt Reeves, who went on to do The Batman. And those are great films. I actually recently rewatched all 3 of them because I remember liking them when I was younger. But now that I actually I'm into movies a lot more and can better understand filmmaking processes.
I feel like I appreciate them a lot more now.
Yeah, especially just the VFX is insane.
Yeah. Especially in the third one.
Yeah. So Kingdom takes place 300 years after War for the Planet of the Apes. Spoiler alert, that movie, the main character Caesar dies, and then it kind of leaves it open-ended. Like the apes get to they get to this area where they can live on their own. They tease that there's this outbreak that's gonna make all humans incapable of speech. It's kind of like a de-evolution. So we don't really know where it leaves off past that. And then so we pick up now 300 years later, and there seems to be like these different sort of settlements of apes. And one that we follow, there's this character Noah, who's the lead. And his tribe, they're like somewhat advanced, not to the level that humans were when humans reigned, obviously, but they use hawks.
They're like hunter-gatherer type of.
Yeah, I actually like the hawks. How you have to build trust. Cool. So this character Noah that we follow, he's the son of the leader of that tribe. And the film basically plays out like kind of a revenge story. So spoilers if you haven't seen it. But Noah basically does something stupid, and then another group of apes who are a lot more malicious than his group end up pulling up on them and basically burning the village down, taking his people. His father gets killed actually, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because you just watched this morning.
Yeah, his remember they fight in the treehouse, and his dad dies, and then he kicks him off the top of the thing.
Yeah, but the rest of his tribe, his mother and his friends, they actually get captured.
Yeah.
So it's basically a revenge story of Noah sort of figuring out where they are, getting there to try to save them and get his revenge on the people that took his family away, basically.
Yeah.
But then, along the way, he meets another ape. He meets a human character, which in this time they see humans as inferior. And it's kind of funny because there's scenes in the movie where they meet that ape Raka, who I actually really liked. He was probably my favorite character.
Yeah, he was awesome. I was actually really upset that he died.
Yeah. But there's scenes where he's talking. He lives like I was looking it up, and the movie takes place in California apparently. So where Rocka lives is supposed to be like what's left of LAX, and there's on the pictures on like the walls of the airport. There's like pictures of humans and stuff, and Rocka's like, oh yeah, this was a place that like the apes built for humans to like keep them here.
Human like sanctuary. That's what
yeah. So it's just like they don't even know the actual backstory of like how humans used to, be superior. I thought that was interesting how they did that. But yeah, I like how they use Caesar in this movie, and how like different apes use his word differently. Like Rocka sees his word as peaceful. Apes and very peaceful. Like apes and humans can live in harmony. This and that, and then Proximus, he uses it in a more malicious way.
Like apes are the superior race.
Yeah, exactly.
Not race, like species.
It kind of is like it's parallel to like Christianity in a way.
Yeah, it's like I think it's just supposed to mirror like any like major religion.
Yeah, because think about people use the Bible for like to justify insane like racism or homophobia, things like that. When meanwhile, like if you look at the actual person, like Jesus or Caesar, like their words actually are for good, and not to be used. Caesar is ape Jesus, basically.
Yeah,
you kind of like get that vibe already from the previous trilogy that he's like the chosen one, but it's kind of fully fleshed out.
I like how the symbol of the window is like still carried over now.
Yeah, so do I. It's like the symbol for. Is there like a name for the cult of Caesar? I feel like there was that.
They just said they follow Caesar's word.
Yeah,
I don't think they have.
I feel like there was a name. I don't remember, but yeah, it's crazy. What do you think of Proximus as the villain?
I honestly really liked him. I just wish that he was in it more. He didn't pull up. He was in it maybe like a half hour.
Yeah, he only shows up towards the end of the film, and he kind of just gets killed off pretty easily. Yeah. Like he ends up getting killed off by the Hawks. There are some like plot holes, which it's this big sci-fi movie about monkeys that can talk, so like you can't look too much into the plot holes. But I don't understand how he spent all this time like trying to open that gate or open that door, and he didn't realize there was just like an opening in the back. Like I feel like they would have at least like searched around the mountain to see if there was some other way to get in. But I don't know, whatever. So basically what Proximus wants to do is he found this big vault that is supposed to have like human intelligence in it and like all this like weaponry, and he basically is like, I know evolution takes like millions of years, but I want to speed it up by accessing the stuff in here. So he's been trying to open this giant vault, and they still never open it. It ends up getting opened from the inside. But yeah, so Noah ends up befriending this young girl who is basically posing as one of the humans that can't speak, but in reality she's actually like smart and capable. She's like a human that we would know. So yeah, he ends up teaming up with her, but they're kind of like, by the end of the movie, they're not like on the same side. It seems like I feel like they left their relationship like open-ended of whether they're going to be allies in the future or going to be like enemies.
I mean, she like that last scene. Actually, like she goes to. It's implied that she goes to basically kill him because she has the gun out.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was saying if she had that as like defense or if she was gonna just kill him. Like,
I think she didn't know what was gonna happen, so she just I don't know.
Yeah, but she wants to get into that vault for her own reasons, which it gets revealed that there's some type of like device in there that she needs. It ends up being like a cartridge that she brings back she brings back to the settlement of advanced humans, and they use it to communicate like across seas. Yeah. So that kind of teases that humans are going to build their way back up.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how the apes almost like evolved like too fast, because it's like they took over humans, but they're not nearly as like advanced or civilized as humans were at their peak.
No. Well, think about how long it took like humanity to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just thought it's just kind of interesting to think about how like they're the superior race, but they also aren't as good as humans were when they fell.
Yeah. I also thought it was interesting that like they had not a pet human, but kind of like there's like humans working for the apes.
Yeah, like Frank Gallagher.
Yeah. A little jump scare.
He was like kind of weird in that role. I don't know. I could like tell he was acting. It was just like a weird actor to pick for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting how, because they like can't read. They don't know what.
Like, they don't know like they could speak, but they can't like.
Yeah, Noah didn't know what books were until like Raka explained it to him, and he was like, "Oh, these symbols have meaning." So then, yeah, like you said, there are humans that work for Proximus and basically like read to him, so he could increase his knowledge. It's mentioned that he likes reading about like Roman civilization or something. I don't know if you call it that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I don't think it like nearly lives up to the levels of the first three. I would say it's about on par with the first.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit better than I thought it was more entertaining than the first one.
There's just like something missing. I think what it's missing is sort of that like serious, stoic kind of nature.
I feel like the other two are like more elevated in terms of like the story.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're kind of like profound and serious.
Yeah.
This is a lot more like action with monkeys. There still is aspects that make you think, but a lot of it is just the spectacle.
Yeah,
which isn't it's not necessarily
it's not a bad thing, no. Yeah.
But I also don't think that Noah has that screen presence that like Caesar had.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, I feel like I didn't really start to appreciate Caesar until like the second and third movie. Like the first movie, he was kind of like, eh.
I feel like by the end of the first, like when that scene,
the
is crazy, yeah. And I don't know, I ended up liking Caesar a lot more. I don't think it's to do with the fact that like
I don't think it's like has to do with the performance. I just think it's the character.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like Owen Teague, he plays the lead. I didn't think he did a bad job at all.
Yeah, no, I thought he was fine.
He was good, yeah, and he seems like he's a good actor.
Yeah.
It's hard to really tell from the motion capture, but it does come through. His performance definitely comes through.
Did you see that they're gonna, like, when this releases on DVD, they're gonna have a cut where it's like just them in the mocap, like instead of having them in like the CG?
The whole movie?
Yeah.
That's insane. I feel like that's cool to watch as like a special feature for like 10 minutes, but the entire movie like that just sounds insane.
It's kind of interesting though. I wonder how like bringing those performances to life like actually looks like.
Yeah. I think they did a good job though jumping back into this world. It gives you like a taste of how the world works now and how there's like these different tribes. Humans are in hiding now. But there's like so much more left to explore. Like we really don't know anything about the world besides these two tribes basically of apes, and then this human civilization that is lurking in the shadows and trying to gain power again.
Yeah, I feel like the next one, like they're gonna beef with humans.
Yeah, definitely, because that's really what it teases at the end. The fact that the humans can communicate with each other now and whatnot, but. Yeah, it was also announced that they're gonna do like a 9-film series, or that's their plan.
So that's including like the first 3 movies.
Yeah, including the first 3. So it'll be like that trilogy, Caesar's trilogy, I guess Noah's trilogy,
and then another one.
Yeah, whatever's next. I feel like this one will be. I saw a quote that was like, "Oh, this is like the Bronze Age for apes," and the first movie was like the Stone Age, or the first trilogy was like the Stone Age for apes. So I guess I feel like the next one will be like
then
super
more like a modern
advanced,
society,
yeah, like super like scientific apes and like advanced apes that have weaponry and like things like that.
Yeah.
But that's very ambitious plan. I mean, to plan out 9 films.
Yeah, that is kind of nuts.
But I don't know do you think that's always how they envisioned it? Because this movie wasn't even announced until like after Disney acquired Fox. So looking at it from like a cynical perspective, it's just like, oh, as soon as Disney got their hands on this franchise, they instantly went back into it. When I don't know if this was their plan from the jump.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like with this, like they probably had a story in mind, but it depended more on like how it did financially.
Yeah, this movie seems to be doing pretty well. Not as good as the first 3.
No, but I feel like the box office is much weaker now. So like,
yeah,
its performance is like, it's hard to tell.
Did you know Dawn made like 800 million?
I didn't know that. That's crazy. Wow.
I think War made like 500. But still,
it's gonna probably make like what, 400, 500?
I would be surprised if it gets to 500. Honestly, I think it's at like 230.
No, I thought it was like in 300s. I thought.
Look that up because I don't.
Let me see.
300 would be impressive because it's only been out one weekend.
Like worldwide, let me see. I'm gonna look up box office.
Yeah, I'll look it up right now. Hold on.
Oh no, you're right. 237 million.
Yeah, I thought it was
globally. That's still really good.
No, it's good off 160 million budget.
Yeah.
So they probably still didn't break even yet, but definitely getting close to it. Like taking into account advertising and all the other stuff.
But it looks like it will make a profit.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll make a profit.
Yeah.
I feel like people just like this type of stuff, like sci-fi spectacle. I love sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like some blockbuster.
Yeah. It's crazy how many monkey movies have been coming out recently.
Yeah.
Kong, Monkey Man, this.
Did you have a favorite scene?
Yeah, honestly, my favorite scene was like the first use of the gun when there's all this like tension that's happening.
He takes like his mom hostage, basically.
Yeah, that ape takes. I think it was like his girl.
love interest or whatever. Yeah.
I forget the girl's name.
Reva, whatever her name is.
What's the name of the human?
Nova.
Girl. May. I know they all call it. Yeah, they call her Nova because at one point Rocka's just like, yeah, we call all of them Nova because that was the name of the mute girl from War. That's what Caesar called her. So yeah, May like takes the gun and basically like shoots the ape in the chest.
Yeah.
And all the other apes are kind of like looking like, holy shit, because like they've never seen a gun.
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know what a gun is.
They don't like understand.
Which is kind of weird. It's kind of, isn't that weird to think about? Because like the first generation of apes like knew what guns were. They used them in war.
That's what I was saying. Where they kind of like evolved too quick. That like that knowledge just got lost because they didn't know how to like keep records of things. They don't know what books are. Yeah. But. Yeah, one thing that I was thinking is like Noah is the same species of ape as Caesar.
Yeah.
So I feel like they might reveal that they're related.
Nah, I doubt it. I feel like the odds of that are like so.
I'm still at his son Cornelius at the end of War, who's alive. So his lineage must go somewhere. I doubt that like he was the last one.
I'd rather them like not. I'd rather them just do their own thing and not connect it to Caesar.
It's definitely like a trope, a sci-fi trope of having, big reveal of the secret.
I mean, even if they do it, I feel like it's not like, what is it really going to do?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not really going to do anything besides to be like, oh, we're following Caesar's descendants.
Yeah,
and it's going to be like a big reveal, but yeah, I've seen theories also that like this is canon with like the OG Planet of the Apes. Because that takes place. Yeah, it could be. And I saw because apparently I've never seen that. I think it's 1968 film, but I think like the orangutans in that movie are like political leaders and like higher society members. And if you notice, that's like Maurice in the first movie,
Yeah.
and then Raka in the second.
Yeah.
They seem to be like the political like scholar type,
Yeah.
and that might be like why that ends up happening if it's like connected in the future. I feel like the final trilogy will be set in like a time period that's similar to those original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, like the kind of sci-fi, not sci-fi. Kind of, I don't know the word for it, like 60s futuresque
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
We'll
because
see.
also it's teased in the first Planet of the Apes movie that like there's a spaceship that went off to space and went missing. Like in
Really?
this in the Caesar trilogy.
I didn't
And they
know that.
never it's like teased very briefly. It's like on the background of a TV. So that's like basically the storyline of the original movie where it's like
Yeah.
these people get lost in space and then crash land. So yeah, I feel like they might revisit that at some point. There's also the scene where Noah is like looking at the planets like hung up from the ceiling.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember that? That
Yeah.
could have been like a tease of where it's gonna go. But yeah, let me see
We'll
if
see.
I have any. I wrote down a couple things to talk about. That might be it for me,
Yeah.
honestly. Oh yeah, this is just one thing that was interesting. So the guy who plays Proximus, like Kevin Durand, his name
Yeah.
is. He said he took inspiration from Elon Musk in his character.
I saw that too, actually.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Did you see? I feel like I didn't see any of that.
No, not really. I don't know
Like
like Elon Musk like mannerisms and shit to be able to.
I feel like maybe in like a blinded by this need to like push towards
Like, the
advancement
future. Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah, maybe,
That's
yeah.
how
Honestly,
the
yeah,
characters.
that kind
Yeah,
of
that's
makes
how
sense in
like
them, that aspect. Like I didn't think about it like that.
yeah. Thought that was interesting. I thought he
Yeah.
was really good. Apparently,
No, he was
this
great.
actor is like in a bunch of stuff that we've watched growing up, but just never
Apparently
really
he played the
noticed him.
Blob. He not the Blob, right? What's in X-Men Origins Wolverine?
I think he does play Blob. I saw something about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was great as well. I wish that more like apes within Noah's tribe got some more like interesting character development. Like think about all the apes in um the original series. You have like Caesar, Rocket,
Maurice.
Koba, Maurice.
Yeah.
What was the girl's name? Buck.
Oh yeah,
Like there's
Buck.
all these interesting apes, and in this movie, it's really just Noah and Raka. I feel like the rest of the apes weren't that interesting. Like I
Yeah.
don't
I
even
mean,
remember like there was like his friend and like the love interest possibly.
well, we'll see what
But
happens in the next one. I feel like because it's also the first movie in this trilogy.
yeah, I just feel like there wasn't enough interesting apes. And also just Noah's character is kind of cliche of like, he's the son of the leader and he's got to like impress his dad and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It is a little bit cliche. That's why I think like Caesar has him beat there. But
She's just a better written character, in my opinion.
yeah. But yeah, I feel like this new trilogy definitely has a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, I think it's still gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna top the original.
I mean, we'll see. It is like a tall task
Yeah.
because those three, at least I know War and Dawn definitely are like very critically acclaimed. I think they have like I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
War was
War has like
crazy.
94% on Rotten Tomatoes, which
Yeah.
is obviously great. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the end all be all, but it's good to see that like if your movie's high up there, it's most likely
Yeah, good
like
time,
critically acclaimed. But um
yeah.
yeah, so we'll see if it's able to even get close. But I would say like the start of this is about on par with how the first trilogy
Yeah,
started.
I'd agree with that.
Did you say your favorite character or no?
No. Honestly, it was what's his name? The orangutan,
Raka?
Rocco. I just liked his kind of like, not I don't want to say he's religious, but like he kind of acts like
He's like a monk.
Yeah,
I
that's the
liked
best way
him.
to describe it.
Yeah, he was my favorite character as well. But also, I mean, Noah was still good. Like he's still like a good enough lead to follow.
But just kind of felt a little cliche.
Yeah, and May was fine. The
Yeah.
actress is fine. I haven't really seen her in anything else, but I'm sure she'll get big off this. But yeah, I mean that really does it for the discussion. I mean, I'm trying to think if I had any other issues with the story.
No, I thought the story was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I think that end spectacle with like the water and all the apes, that was crazy how they pulled that off, like the VFX. That was like a great way to end the movie.
Yeah. I like how they use the hawks at the end too.
Yeah. But all right, I guess we can move on to ratings for it. I gave it a 3.5 star, 7 out of 10. So it's basically that's the same score that I gave Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Still, like it's a good movie. It's very enjoyable, but I feel like it could have used some better like character development from the side characters and especially the villain too.
Screen time with the villain. Yeah.
There was just like something missing for me, and I can't like pinpoint what exactly it was, but I feel like it might go back to that like sort of nuanced and serious nature that Caesar's story had compared to the story that we got from Noah in this movie. Still, really great movie, well made. Obviously, VFX are fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's a 7 out of 10.
And same thing for me. I give it a 3.5, so a 7 out of 10. And I also gave Dawn is the first one.
I think Rise the first.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I gave it 3.5 as well. I mean the VFX are amazing, but like Matt said, besides Noah and Maurice, right? Maurice? No,
Rocca.
The characters are kind of pretty forgettable.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it definitely has a ton of potential moving forward.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll get announcements soon of like what the next movie will be titled and like when it.
Well, this guy is also he's doing the live action Zelda.
Oh yeah, we didn't really even talk about the director.
Yeah.
But it's Wes Ball. I was gonna ask, does this movie make you more or less excited for the Zelda movie, or is it just neutral?
I mean, I'm not a really big Zelda guy, so like for me, I don't really. I'm sure he'll do well. He sounds like he's very passionate about it, and he seems like a fan. So,
yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm more excited for it now, seeing that he was able to pull this off in like such a big franchise. But like you said, I'm also not a big Zelda guy myself. But
yeah, exactly. So I'm just.
I guess he'll probably do that before he does a sequel, unless they like move on from him, which is definitely possible.
I don't think they will. I feel like it's really hard to do movies like this, and they saw this movie was already successful. They're not gonna want to like change it.
True. I mean, they did from Rise to Dawn, so
unless they change the story, like I feel like Rise and Dawn are like the stories of those movies are like so different.
Yeah, that's true. I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the next one they take a more like serious approach and they hire like obviously not Matt Reeves, but like a Matt Reeves type of director for it.
Yeah, we'll see. But all right, let's move on to some movie news that we got. A couple pretty interesting things, some big news.
Well, speaking of sorry, yeah, but speaking of Andy Serkis, because obviously with Caesar and everything, it was announced they're going to be doing a Lord of the Rings remake. It's going to be a trilogy, I think they said, right?
I don't think it's going to be a remake. I think like this is what it says on Variety. It says Warner Bros. will release the first of its new batch of the Lord of the Rings films in 2026. So it doesn't say that it's a remake. It just says a new batch of films.
I thought I read online Well,
like, you want to talk about like the title and the synopsis of the film?
The title is The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and according to Peter Jackson, he said that it's going to explore more of like Gollum's origin and stuff that they didn't really cover in the original trilogy. Peter Jackson's involved in his writing partner. I think he's writing a script too, and Andy Serkis is going to play Gollum again,
and he's going to direct it.
Yeah, he's going to direct. Didn't I say that? Or no.
I don't know.
No.
You might have. I might have.
No,
whatever. But yeah, the fact that it's Andy Serkis Gollum, I feel like it's just going to be a prequel set in the same world.
I don't know why. I thought I saw online that they said it was it's going to be like a remake. Let me look it up.
I don't think it is. But honestly, I don't know if you've watched that trilogy, Lord of the Rings.
I have a while ago, but
I'm not like the biggest fan of it. I love fantasy. Like I really like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But those movies were just like, I kind of was like, let me sit down and just watch the trilogy, and it was just like too overwhelming. It was too much stuff, and it kind of like didn't really stick with me.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like close to 12 hours of content.
No, that's fair.
I don't know. It just never really stuck with me. Never been the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings. So, although this may be huge news to me, I just like don't care.
And maybe this will get you more to. This new movie will get you like more into the franchise.
Yeah, I feel like I'll definitely rewatch the trilogy before this comes out.
Yeah.
Try to lock in a little more. Focus on the characters. Because yeah, like I know the main characters, like, you know, Bilbo and all those people.
Yeah.
And Legolas, the archer.
Yeah.
But I just like I don't know, like the story just it didn't like stick with me as much as other fantasy films do, like Harry Potter, for example. I don't know. But are you like excited for this or no?
I mean, honestly, I want to rewatch the original trilogy now because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I am. I feel like it's Peter Jackson's involved, so I'm sure it's gonna be good. And now, like with all the technology, like we're basically just gonna have a more updated version of the movie.
Yeah. My other concern though is like a film following Gollum is kind of like he's a cool character to have like pop in and, you know, be in the movie for a little bit. He's mysterious. He's like this weird little guy. But imagine him like just leading a movie. He's so annoying. Like he's such an annoying character. Like his voice and everything.
Well, like I'm assuming the movie's gonna be about finding the movie's called The Hunt for Gollum. So I'm assuming
they'll probably introduce like a group of characters that, you know, I guess are hunting for him. But I don't know if like a movie focusing on Gollum is the right move to get back into this franchise.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a Lord of the Rings movie coming out this year, right?
There's an animated one, yeah. It's called like The War of
something hard to pronounce.
It was supposed to come out last year.
Did they reveal anything for it? Images or
apparently like there's that big animation festival coming up that's supposed to reveal stuff about it. Because I mean, we're already like almost halfway through 2024.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost June already. It's just crazy. But all right, we'll move on from that. We have some big, fantastic forecasting.
Yeah.
The really big one is that we got our Galactus cast. And honestly, like this isn't a name that I threw out there when I was thinking of this role, but it is such perfect casting.
Yeah.
And they cast Ralph Ineson, who you might know from The Green Knight, or he was just in The First Omen.
He's really good in The First Omen.
He's great in The Green Knight too. He like plays the Green Knight. He's like this mythical kind of creature.
Yeah.
Not like a creature, but he's like a knight made of like tree bark basically, and he has that deep voice.
Yeah.
And I feel like that voice right there is just enough. If you don't know what he sounds like, just like look up Ralph Ineson voice.
No, I'm
just saying. I'm talking to I'm talking to the one or two people who may be listening at this point. But yeah, it is actually insane. His voice.
Yeah.
It's just like such a not demanding, but what's the word? It's just powerful. It's a powerful voice. That like you could, if you're thinking of a giant world eater, that's what you'd think it would sound like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope they go for the full like purple crown look for him and everything.
I feel like they will.
Yeah, I think they will as well. Especially since the movie seems to be set on a different world, I feel like they're gonna go a little bit more crazy.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna have like alternate universe versions of like Tony Stark and like all those other characters?
I mean, I feel like maybe. I think I saw something that said the X-Men are gonna be like alive, or like they're gonna be a thing on that world.
That'll be sick.
Which could be interesting. But I feel like they're really gonna focus on the Fantastic Four. They might have cameos, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I think that like their universe is probably gonna die at the end of it.
Yeah, I feel like it'll probably lead to Secret Wars, and then like after that, they'll bring them into the main MCU.
Yeah.
Also, John Malkovich was cast in an unknown role. John Malkovich obviously is like a legend. So it's I have no idea who he's playing, but to me, he's definitely giving like one-off character vibes. Like I don't think
he's gonna play like Sue Storm and Johnny Storm's dad.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. He doesn't seem like he's gonna be playing a hero, like a superhero or anything.
No.
And I feel like he's not the type of actor that would want to return for things, especially at his age. So, but yeah, obviously great news. Like I love being John Malkovich. I don't know if you've seen that. He's in a bunch of other stuff. Like I don't even got to talk about him. He's a beast. But
wasn't someone else cast in the Fantastic Four?
Oh yeah,
some girl, right?
Yeah, so I forgot her name.
She's like she's a comedian, right?
She was the girl that was in that show that Ryan Johnson did. I think it might have been called. I think it was called Poker Face.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Got her name. She's like, I think she was like canceled for a little and then had a comeback.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, Natasha Lyonne. I don't know if she was canceled or she had some sort of drama. I don't know. Whatever. But she like has made her return to Hollywood recently. So
interesting.
Natasha Lyonne. That I mean, I don't know who she could be playing. I feel like she'll probably just play like a side character.
Someone said it could be like the Thing's love interest.
Maybe. I'm trying to. This cast is like insane. It's getting. So we got obviously like the main four is Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and then like I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Ebon Moss-Bachrach. Yeah. Then you have now Ralph Ineson, Julia Garner as Silver Surfer, Paul Walter Hauser, who is probably playing what's his name?
Mole Man, right?
Or Mole Man or the robot?
Oh, Kirby, yeah.
And now Natasha Lyonne. It's like that is one of the best MCU like movie casts in a while.
I feel like they just been having a lot of stinkers, so they had to
they had to level up.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously excited for that movie. But I feel like they're starting filming probably end of the summer, I think.
Soon. I don't think it's gonna make that July release date, but it's gotta be soon.
Yeah. Alright. Move on from that though. A new Godzilla X Kong film is in the works, so it was confirmed. Not that we had any doubts of that.
Yeah.
But the Hollywood Reporter. It says the writer of Shang-Chi, Dave Callahan, will write. Let me see if there's any other info on it.
He also like helped write Spider-Verse, I believe, too.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's anything like the last movie, then give me more.
Yeah.
I just hope
my only request is I hope they I want them to change the composer, please.
Oh, you want that OG Godzilla?
Yeah, I hate fucking whatever his name, Junkie XL, whatever the fuck his name is.
Who the fuck is that?
Isn't the guy that does the soundtrack for Godzilla?
Junkie XL. All right, let me look into what you're referring to. Let me
I see.
let's see. I'm looking on Letterboxd. Composer Tom Holkenborg. Oh no, you're right. You're right. He's known by his stage name, Junkie XL. You don't mess with him?
No,
I didn't have a problem with the.
I just feel like the soundtrack, like compare this with the soundtrack and like -1. Even though like obviously they're two tonally completely different movies. But even like there's not we don't even get the iconic like Godzilla theme in the last one.
Yeah. Where do you think they go with the franchise next? I feel like it's definitely going to be more Godzilla centric.
Yeah, yeah. Or else, but I feel like it's gonna be. I mean, honestly, I feel like they're gonna take inspiration from Godzilla versus Destroyer, where it's like kind of a and he becomes burning Godzilla in that. But I know they already did that with um, what's her name?
I
Why
hope
am I
they do
what's
Space Godzilla just because it looks cool.
Yeah,
Or
or
they should do
Biolante.
something in space with like they should bring aliens into it somehow. They did the
Yeah,
Hollow Earth. That's kind of like Kong's thing. So they should do something with space for Godzilla.
honestly, yeah. I feel like that would make sense. I could say like Space Godzilla would be perfect.
But yeah,
Honestly,
just wanted to mention that though. It was
yeah.
pretty obvious that we were gonna get a sequel, but
And they're doing more shows too, apparently.
yep. Some other news we got another Marvel related thing. This was pretty crazy, but we also heard about this earlier, and that is Nicolas Cage is gonna play Spider-Man Noir in the live action series for Amazon, which is going to be called Noir. It's going to be the name of the series. I don't know
That's kind of
why
nuts.
they don't call it Spider-Man Noir, but yeah, he. For those of you who don't know, he voices the character in Into the Spider-Verse, and yeah, I guess it's just going to follow like Spider-Man Noir on his old noir style world,
Yeah.
and just having Nicolas Cage's name attached. Um, Yeah,
Oh man, it
that's like
gets me
enough right
excited.
there
Yeah.
to keep me interested. Yeah. Apparently Sony's still planning to do like this Spider-Man TV universe, although they've been talking about like Spider-Man shows they're going to do for years, I feel like Silk.
Yeah.
Silk
Well,
just got
now apparently Silk has canceled, right?
yeah, they've been talking about it, I feel like for the past like 5 years. And it's always like this news, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, then nothing. Now they officially finally canceled it. Did they give any other updates on like any other shows they're gonna do or no?
I don't think so. Have you heard of anything?
No, I feel like I saw something, but I don't remember. But yeah, that is pretty cool. I guess if it's well received, they'll figure out a way to bring him into something like a crossover with the MCU or I don't know. But all right, other Marvel news. There was some sort of festival that happened. Was it? Do you remember what it was?
No,
Were they like?
not
I forget what it's called, but
one.
they did some festival for like Marvel TV.
Oh, it was like Disney Plus Day or something.
So they announced some release dates. So the Agatha show now has the title Agatha All Along after having like 10 different titles. And it's
I think that it's funny because like everyone was like speculating, and it was all just like a marketing fucking scheme.
yeah, I feel like it was pretty obvious. Like I don't think they would actually change the name like 6 times.
There was one of that. The last one they put out, I was like so ridiculous.
It was like the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe or
Wardrobe or
something.
something. Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, so yeah, the first 2 episodes premiere September 18th, which is actually not too far away. A couple months from now. I have no excitement or interest for the series, but apparently they showed footage of it at this convention. So I guess we'll probably get a trailer soon. But it showed something like Agatha was a detective, and then she sees Wanda Maximoff's name and like sort of snaps back into reality. I guess it's supposed to be like how Wanda left her at the end of WandaVision. She's in this like she's basically being mind controlled. But I guess since Wanda dies at the end of Doctor Strange, it probably breaks her out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no interest here, but I'll probably
I'll probably watch like the first episode. I mean, I like the whole horror kind of Halloween aesthetic of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a 9-episode show, it'll probably run through Halloween, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then also the thing that I actually do care about is that we got the release date for the Daredevil show. Daredevil Born
March
Again.
2025, right?
Yeah, March 2025. So less than a year from now. It's gonna have the first season is 9 episodes, and then they'll do another 9-episode season, which I think is gonna start filming soon.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited for Daredevil to finally be in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean he was in She-Hulk, but to get his own show and actually get fleshed out, you know. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. We've got a bunch of behind the scenes looks, and they're already done filming that first season, so I'm sure we'll get a trailer for that.
They said Punisher's in it, right?
Punisher's in it. Bullseye's in it. White Tiger's in it. Kingpin, obviously. And I'm sure. I feel like Jessica Jones will probably show up too.
She's definitely gonna be referenced. Spider-Man's probably gonna be referenced too.
Yeah, probably. I feel like that show is gonna end with like him like
with Spider-Man,
or like Fisk maybe putting out the outlaw on vigilantes. And like it will tie into Spider-Man because it'll affect him. He's in New York.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on from that. This one you'll be excited about. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, will be released on June 26, 2026, which is just about a year after the Superman movie. So the first 2 films in the new DCU will be Superman adjacent, which is pretty cool. I mean, Superman is like their headline character that DC doesn't really like to use that much.
I like this. I think it's a good idea. I like they're a year apart too.
Yeah, I feel like she'll definitely appear in Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's one thing? I just realized like her suit is gonna have his symbol on it, probably, right?
Not necessarily. He could have made the suit that he's wearing. Like he could have changed the symbol.
I feel like we've never seen a Supergirl outfit with that symbol.
No.
So it'd be interesting.
It would be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I actually kind of like that logo.
Yeah, no, I like it as well. But yeah, and then like last episode, we talked about our first look at Superman, and now we're getting this news that Supergirl is gonna drop the following year. So like, we're really getting the DCU ramping up now.
Yeah. And Peacemaker's already filming right now too.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Frank Grillo.
Yeah, Frank Grillo is gonna be in.
He's playing one of the characters in Creature Commandos. He's gonna play that character in live action in Peacemaker season 2. And I feel like it'll be more than a cameo because like James Gunn put a picture with him and was like, "Oh, he's gonna be in season 2."
Well, he killed his son in Suicide Squad. So like they have like.
But didn't James Gunn say like Peacemaker season 1 isn't canon, and they'll address it?
Yeah, but he didn't kill him in season 1. It happened in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's not canon either. If Peacemaker season 1 isn't canon.
Well, I mean, Suicide Squad, honestly, they could just say it's canon. It doesn't really... Nothing really happens in it that's, like, DC... I mean, DCEU, like, related. Like, there's none of those superheroes
I still think they're gonna, like... I don't know.
Because he's in it, and Viola Davis is in it, too. Like, and her character's gonna still be in the new DCU, too.
Yeah.
I don't know about Harley Quinn, though, and all those other ones.
I don't know. I still think it won't be canon. But...
Yeah.
All right, anyways. Yeah, that's exciting. This is something that I was really hyped when I saw.
Yeah,
so there's going to be a new John Wick spinoff, and it's gonna focus on Donnie Yen's character from John Wick 4, his character Kane, who was like the blind assassin, and it's gonna start filming in Hong Kong next year. So I'm really excited for this. When that movie came out, he was like one of my favorite parts of that movie. I loved Donnie Yen.
He was awesome.
And I feel like having that blind assassin could be very interesting in terms of like the action scenes, the fight scenes.
And also just Hong Kong is like a really cool setting too to have fight scenes.
Yeah, and I like that they're building out this John Wick universe. I mean, that show I think flopped. I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it either. But I don't think any of the people from the movies were involved in it.
Well, I think that main guy, I forget the actor's name, but he's like the main guy with the
whole. I mean like in terms of like writing it and that stuff.
Oh, I see. But yeah, wait, we're getting Ballerina. That's not this year, is it?
No, I think it got delayed to next year.
That's gonna. Keanu Reeves is gonna return for that. I think they said it's set between John Wick 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like how they're building out this action interconnected universe, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, like Keanu just shows up in all of them, and I feel like he would.
Yeah,
he likes playing the character. So
yeah.
All right, yeah. We're getting towards the end of our news here, but this is a huge one for us.
For us, yeah.
Yeah, FNAF 2 got its release date December 5th, 2025 in theaters. In the post, it doesn't say anything about streaming same day. So I don't know if they're still going to do that, like how they did. I feel like they're not. I don't know.
They shouldn't.
I don't think they will. But what do you think about the December release date? Do you think that's an indicator of anything? Because that October date was pretty wide open. I think Blumhouse put like another movie there. I think it might have been Megan or Black Phone
Megan,
2.
Black Phone 2 probably makes more sense for the Halloween release. Because it's probably R-rated.
Yeah.
I hope that. From what I saw online, like apparently they're gonna make this one scarier.
We'll see. I feel like they should have kept this around Halloween. I feel like the December release date might end up hurting it, unless it's Christmas related somehow.
I don't think that's true. Like I feel like it still will be fine.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously, FNAF. I wonder when they'll start filming though.
Probably summer.
It's got to be somewhat soon.
Yeah. Well, they already had that thing of they posted the picture of the guy making mango.
Yeah, but it's probably in pre-production right now.
Yeah. I'd say like within the next 3 months, probably starts filming.
Yeah. All right, and then moving on. This is something that we talked about before on the podcast, and that is Yorgos Lanthimos' new movie, which follows 2 conspiracy-obsessed men who kidnap a major CEO convinced that she's an alien intent on destroying Earth. It's apparently based on this Korean movie called like Save the Green Planet or something like that. But it got a title. It's called like Bugonia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's Bugonia.
Who's gonna play? I know it's Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, but do they know who the other like guy is gonna be that kidnaps her, or no? Did they cast anyone?
I'm not sure. They didn't cast anyone yet, but yeah, I was gonna say I'm assuming Emma Stone is the CEO. That probably makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Jesse Plemons is one of the 2 men. So I feel like that other man, when that news gets released, like that's gonna be a big actor. I feel like it's gonna be a big notable actor. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that there was like more set in stone stuff about this movie, because it was just kind of mentioned that it's a remake of this movie and these. Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know like when they announced it. If it was when they wrote that, like he just started working on it, or like they had it ready for a while.
Yeah, but just wanted to mention that. And then some news that actually got announced like a couple hours ago is that there are 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies that are currently in the works. One of them is a reboot, which is written by Jeff Nathanson, who wrote The Lion King. I'm assuming the 2019 one. And then a spin-off movie starring Margot Robbie. So I know Margot Robbie's name has always been floated around for Pirates, but then it was like, oh, she's not doing it anymore.
I feel like if anything, she's gonna produce it.
It's a spin-off starring her. So yeah.
I mean, I feel like if they're telling EU this, they probably have her under contract already.
And did you also see recently?
That they said they would have Johnny Depp back.
Someone from Disney was like, "Yeah, we'd love to have Johnny Depp back." We like reached out.
They said they spoke to him already about it, right?
So I feel like he would come back. Why not?
I love Pirates. I'm actually like hyped they're doing it again.
Yeah. So the only thing is when it says there's a reboot and then a spin-off, I'm assuming the spin-off is a spin-off of the reboot. I doubt it's like a spin-off of the original and then they also reboot it. It would be like
I feel like they don't really. A spin-off could just be like a separate story set in like the Caribbean. It doesn't have to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the only thing is the fact that they're doing a reboot, if they do bring Johnny Depp back, would he like play Jack Sparrow again?
Yeah.
He must, right?
When they say reboot, I'm assuming they mean like a new.
It could be like a soft reboot, like a.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. And I don't know if you saw like Austin Butler is being eyed for like the lead in the. I'm assuming the reboot, soft reboot, whatever.
I mean, the only thing that I gotta say about that is like Austin Butler's yet to delve into a franchise. I mean, he did Dune, but that was a one-off. He got killed at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's into that, you know. And if he does choose to do that, I don't know if it'll be for Pirates. But
we'll see.
Definitely could be. But yeah, that's really exciting stuff there.
Yeah,
I love Pirates.
Me too. I hold those movies like pretty fondly.
Yeah. Hopefully they get J Depp back, but
we'll see.
All right. Yeah, that's it for movie news. So now we could move on to what you suggested that we do last episode. So you can bring us into this section.
All right. So with us watching Logan and Matthew doesn't watch it, but X-Men 97 just finished. I wanted to do a fan cast for some of the X-Men in the MCU. Honestly, this was kind of hard. There's a lot of the X-Men are like, in terms of like casting, like all over the place. There's like tons of different characters and like different backgrounds. So, but I thought it was fun doing this.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of my cast. I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah,
but you could start us off.
What do you want to start with?
Your call. You just choose, because I guess we could tell everyone the characters that we're doing. So we chose 9 of the X-Men. We might eventually cast like more of them, but the 9 are Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, Beast, Professor X, Magneto, and Mr. Sinister. So I guess just you choose them how you will, Joe, and then I'll just say who mine is.
I guess we could start with Wolverine. Honestly, this was the hardest hardest character for me to cast, just because Hugh Jackman is like so iconic in the role. But it came down to 2 actors for me. But ultimately I went with Jeremy Iron White. And his performance in Iron Claw, like where he's like, especially towards the end where he gets the injury and he's very angry and he's like full of, not like, I don't want to say bitter, but like he's very like rageful, I'd say. And he's got the physique. And I think I'm pretty sure he's small, like definitely shorter than Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
the one thing was that I wanted. Yeah, because in the comics, Wolverine's literally like 5, like I think he's like 5'3" or something like that. He doesn't have to be that small, but definitely he shouldn't be like 6 foot.
He's 5'7". He's 5'7".
That's fine.
So who was the other guy that you were thinking of?
Anthony Starr was my other choice.
I see. Yeah. I actually also chose Jeremy Allen White. I feel like he's the perfect candidate at this point. He's young enough now that it could be a younger version of the character. And I feel like you said, just like his physique and the way he was, like he portrayed that character in Iron Claw, he's got sort of like this primal, like animalistic kind of.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Like just looking at him, he just looks like a little beast. Yeah. And that's I feel like that's how Wolverine is in the comics. He's just like this little like jacked little
Yeah,
like rageful freak guy. I feel like he could, and he's a very hot actor now too. Like he's very popular. I don't know if he'd do it. Apparently, he auditioned for something with Marvel before, but he kind of like didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
and
I feel like that was before he got like.
And also, I feel like the opportunity, it's not like just any superhero, like it's Wolverine.
Yeah, it's like
you're taking over for Hugh Jackman, who's like one of the best actors, so.
I also thought, two other, like, just because it's such a popular character, I also thought Christopher Abbott would have been great, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, but obviously that's not going to happen, but I thought both of them would have been great as well.
Yeah. I feel like this one was also one of the hardest for me.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. You can say who you got next.
I guess we could do Rogue. So Rogue, I've honestly had my pick for Rogue for like such a long time. And it's always been Keke Palmer. I just think that especially after watching the animated show where she's just very like outgoing and she has like this kind of southern. That's like the biggest thing about her is that probably that's her southern accent. That's like the main thing about the character. But I think Keke Palmer would crush it. I think she'd be so good in that role, especially after Nope, where she kind of plays like this outgoing kind of like I don't want to say what's the word? Not like a well, she's like a sibling to the character in Nope.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what you're trying to say here. I don't know.
I'm kind of drawing a blank on this. I'm sorry. I'm like,
that's all right.
But
yeah, no, I could see her for it, and she like dressed up as Rogue for like a Halloween thing once. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
That she did like this little animation of her as Rogue, so I feel like she must have interest in the character.
Yeah. And apparently they met with her for some Marvel role.
I feel like she's a safe pick for it because there's just so much like where there's smoke, there's fire. Usually, her name has been circling that character for a while. So, I actually went with Margaret Qualley as Rogue. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but
let's see.
She was in Poor Things. She's like the second version of Bella Baxter. Like the new one.
Oh, she's in that other movie with Christopher Abbott, right?
Yeah, Sanctuary.
Yeah.
But I saw her in Drive Away Dolls that came out this year. And she plays like she does like that southern accent. She plays like a southern girl, and that's like really all I know about Rogue. Like I'm not like a huge X-Men fan, so just like seeing her in that, I knew she'd be able to at least do the accent, if anything. But yeah, she's obviously she's a great actress, and she's worked with some great directors. Obviously, Yorgos.
Yeah.
And she seems like
that would be a really good pick too.
Someone on the up and up now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's going to be in Kinds of Kindness too.
Yeah, you're right.
So
good pick. I'm trying to think who should go with next.
I'll do Cyclops.
Yeah, we could do Cyclops. Cyclops actually. This was another one where like his character thing is that he's basically just like a jock. But so you can go like in so many directions with this character. So I kind of went with a more out there pick. I feel like the safest pick everybody says is Glenn Powell. But honestly, I feel like he's a little older for what I want in Cyclops.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he would definitely. I think he'd be great in the role, but I just think he's a little older for me. I actually went with Charles Melton from May December. He's a newer actor, but I think he fits that like kind of. He's in the age range. He's tall, right? I'm pretty sure he's like 6'1".
Yeah, he's tall. He's tall.
And I think he would play like a good kind of like he's just like a jock kind of leader character. I also thought another. Oh, actually, I want to hear your pick first before I go into other ones that I thought of.
All right, I have one that I didn't really see out because the way I casted some of these people is like I would look up what are popular fan casts and then sort of see like just to give myself an idea of like the type of actor that might be. And this is someone who I didn't see in any of these when I was looking into Cyclops, and that is Nicholas Galitzine. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he plays like the jock in Bottoms. You know, like the guy that they have all. He was. I recently watched that movie, The Idea of You, with my girlfriend. The one where like Anne Hathaway falls in love with like the pop star. He plays like the pop star in that. And after I watched it, I was like, this dude could definitely play Cyclops. He's young, he's handsome, he's muscular. Like he could be a jock.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty good actor. So I feel like he would also be someone to bring in some of that young female audience because he's very popular with like, he's kind of like a heartthrob right now. So
yeah.
I don't know if you're like, I mean, you're familiar with him from Bottoms.
Yeah, no, I saw him in Bottoms. My thing. Well, actually, honestly, I don't remember if he's like a kind of a big like. I don't want to say like is he like muscular like big?
In the idea of you, he's not like insanely jacked, but he's pretty muscular.
I'm sure he could put on muscle actually.
Because
my big thing is like I want like the Wolverine and Cyclops. I want them to kind of feel like physically like imposing on each other, if that makes sense. Like I don't want like Wolverine to like kind of dominate the scene. Not scene. What's the word?
Well, he's 6 foot. Jeremy Allen White is 5'7", so he'd have 5 inches on him.
Yeah.
And
Wolverine think about how jacked Wolverine is. Not Wolverine. Jeremy Allen White.
Like we've seen like. I feel like not being jacked isn't like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like we're just seeing it now with Mr. Terrific. How like I don't know if you saw. I love Grace Randolph, but she was saying like, oh, they should have went with someone beefier for this role, and like he got absolutely jacked.
Yeah.
So like, he's a young guy. I'm sure he could get in shape. So
fair point.
But yeah, I feel like that's kind of an unorthodox pick. I didn't see anyone else pick it, but I feel like he's perfect for it.
Yeah. No, that is a good pick. I also thought Paul Mescal would have been good too. I don't know if he would have done it.
I feel like Cyclops has to be like traditionally handsome, like very chiseled features. I don't know if Paul Mescal could really pull that off.
Fair.
Not that he's ugly. He's not ugly.
No,
he doesn't have like the traditional like Henry Cavill kind of look, you know, like the chiseled features and like. But yeah, anyways. You could. I don't know. Who's next?
I guess we do Magneto. Magneto. That was another tough one. There was one pick that I just is like very very out there that he would never do, but and then the other one I think actually would be a really really good pick. My first pick. I actually picked Ralph Fiennes, which I'm sure you're familiar with from obviously Harry Potter. So he's done the villain role, and most recently, was it the Shack? No, what is the name of that movie? Why am I having like a show?
The Menu.
The Menu. I knew it was like something food related, which he was phenomenal in. He plays kind of like a what's the word? Kind of like he's a villain.
He's
in
insane.
It, but yeah, he's just out of his mind.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I really like Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
So, so my pick for Magneto is someone who's not like very big, but we both know him. I don't know how to pronounce his name fully, but it's Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, something like that. I've definitely butchered that. I'm sorry, but he is the actor who plays Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. So he's done that sort of villainous role. And I feel like he's underutilized, like in Hollywood. I don't see him in any movies, really. So yeah, I definitely think he could pull off that role.
Yeah.
But the one thing is, I don't think he's Jewish. But I know that's like a big part of Magneto's character. But
I
don't know.
I don't think the guy I picked was Jewish either. Honestly, Ralph Fiennes. I don't think he's Jewish.
Yeah.
I know he's like from Europe. He's like European, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like I loved him in Game of Thrones. I just finished it. And I feel like he could pull off that villainous. Like Jaime is villainous, but you also can like see his motives. Like you understand him, and he does sort of have that turn towards the light, like in the later seasons.
Yeah.
And you could definitely That's something that is important in Magneto, and I've
I
seen.
feel like he'd be a good Doom too.
Yeah, he could definitely play Doom also. But yeah.
I guess next we could do Professor X. I feel like these are hard because just the original cast of the characters was just so like good. So I feel like they're really hard to cast these characters.
Yeah, like both casts, like the original and then the rebooted, are both really good.
Really good, yeah. So, I went with Mark Strong. I feel like that's another very safe pick. But he's been in a ton of superhero stuff. He was in Shazam. He actually was just recently cast in the Penguin show. He's in the new Dune show. He's also played a villain in Shazam as well. So I think it would be interesting to see him kind of more in like a hero role. But I think he would be fine. Actually, he plays the hero in The Kingsman, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that actually.
I like Mark Strong, but I feel like he's definitely a safe pick for it.
Safe pick, yeah. No, honestly, this was hard for me. I couldn't really think of anybody.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually went with Ralph Fiennes for this.
Okay.
And it's kind of crazy because he could play
both
Magneto or Professor X, which just goes to show a lot about like how good of an actor he is. But I feel like he definitely gives off Professor X vibes more than Magneto. Like I don't think he could pull off that villainous kind of. But I don't know. I feel like he would be a good Professor X. Like you mentioned before, the menu he's in. Obviously Voldemort. He was bald as Voldemort, so that's why I chose him.
Yeah.
No, but no, it's funny because a lot of people just like choose bald actors to play Professor X just because they're bald.
Yeah.
But
like Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, and and Mark Strong, like you picked.
Yeah, like I picked.
Yeah, but if not him, Vin Diesel would have been good.
Or The Rock.
The Rock, yeah.
Stanley Tucci is actually another one that would have been good.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci could do it. I feel like
a safe one.
I just feel like Stanley Tucci is like such a character actor that like it would like I wouldn't be able to take him serious as Professor X. I would feel like it's like an SNL skit.
Because I feel like he's so, like he's very stoic. Like Professor X, like very like soft spoken and stoic.
Yeah. But Ralph Fiennes, great actor. We talked about him a little before, but yeah.
What about Gary Oldman?
I don't know. I don't see him as Professor X. I don't think he could pull off the look, really.
Yeah, if I'm picturing him with no hair, would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got left? Just a couple.
We got Jean Grey, I would say Jean Grey, Gambit.
No, not Gambit. Jean Grey.
Oh, Jean Grey, Beast,
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. Okay. I used to do Mr. I'm curious who your Mr. Sinister is. I honestly, Mr. Sinister was probably the easiest person to cast. He's basically his character's from the 1800s. He's like a British scientist, and he's not actually a mutant, but he like steals basically the mutant like genes or essentially from mutants and like uses it to make him live longer. So his only big thing is that like he's kind of has a British accent. So I went with Matt Smith, which I'm sure you know him from obviously Game of Thrones, but he also played the villain in Morbius. So, and he's also in obviously Doctor Who. He's pretty famous for, but I think he'd be perfect.
He's very well known as Milo from Morbius.
I think he'd be like perfect as Mr. Sinister. He has that kind of look, like kind of a long face, and he's like pale too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that. He's a little bit younger than the guy I went with, but and like I said, I don't really know the X-Men too well.
Yeah.
So I don't know Mr. Sinister that well. I mean,
he honestly could be any age because his whole thing is that like he's like he doesn't age because he steals people's like genes and stuff like that. It's like like superhero kind of. So he could be whatever age, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I actually went with Clive Owen, who's most famous from Children of Men, also in one of my underrated movies, Closer, with Natalie Portman. He plays one of the leads in that. Yeah, he's got the look. He just is like an older-ish white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really know too much about Mr. Sinister, like I said, but Clive Owen gives me the vibes. He could handle it.
Hmm.
Sorry, I don't got much to say about him, but I feel like that character I probably know the least about compared to any of the others that we're casting. So
who's left? Beast and
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Actually, we could do Jean Grey first. So Jean Grey.
Oh wait, and Storm.
Oh, and Storm. Okay, I should do Storm. So my Storm. Honestly, this was another one that like it's hard to cast because I feel like she has like a very distinct look, and I don't know. This one was hard for me, but I actually went with the actress's name is DeWanda Wise. She was in Jurassic World. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah. Honestly, she kind of has that like the kind of Storm look. Like she's not that she's like big, like she has like a presence, not like she's kind of built a little bit. And I just feel like Storm has to have that kind of build when she's on screen.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And she's young enough to do the role.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Yeah, I haven't really. I thought she was good in Jurassic World, but I haven't really seen her in anything else. Oh, she was in Imaginary. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, she was.
She was fine. She was alright.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. That movie didn't fail because of her. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I actually went with someone who is familiar with the superhero world, and that is Anna Diop, who played Starfire in Titans. So, she's familiar with.
Yeah, that's a good pick, honestly. Yeah,
she was a good actress in that show. I also feel like I imagine Storm as being like very dark skinned.
Yeah,
I feel like her skin tone has to be like a lot on like the darker side, and she has that look. So she has the look. She has the chops, and she's been in like this world of superheroes before. So I feel like she would definitely do it.
Yeah. I feel like they're gonna say that Storm is from Wakanda. She's gonna be like a mutant from Wakanda.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. I feel like they probably will do.
And that's how they're gonna make him, because in the comics she's married to T'Challa. Well, obviously it's gonna be like T'Challa's son.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, what do we got? Beast and Jean Grey.
Beast, I actually went with Josh Hartnett. Which honestly, his performance in Oppenheimer kind of gave me my sell for him. He's more. Beast is essentially just a scientist. He speaks. He's supposed to represent like the kind of how that mutants can be just like regular people. He's used a lot as like a political figure in the X-Men and stuff. And
yeah, it's supposed to be. He's like the one that looks the most obviously like a beast, but he's like insanely smart
and like very well spoken.
Yeah.
So
he's like one of the underrated X-Men characters, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a good pick, yeah. And Josh Hartnett also has that M. Night movie coming out this year too.
Trap, yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, for Beast, I actually went with, I don't think he would do it, but I went with Jesse Plemons. I love Jesse Plemons. That would be cool. Obviously, he's a great actor. And I feel like he's the type of guy you look at him and you're like, yeah, this dude can definitely transform into a blue beast right now. He's just got that vibe to him.
That's honestly, yeah, you're right.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, he's a little bit hairy, like on his face. He is. He just looks like he could turn into a beast at any moment. So I really doubt he would do it though. I don't know if his name has ever been like floated around with comic book movies, but
I mean,
I feel like I don't remember it. But all right, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Actually, wait, I just realized I wrote down the wrong actress for my Jean Grey pick. Hold on, because I looked it up. Usually I look up like the actress before I talk about it, but I just looked it up. I was like, no, I don't know why. Because I spelled it wrong. Yeah. All right. So anyway, my Jean Grey pick, I went with Olivia Cooke, who I think you're familiar with, obviously from House of the Dragon, but she's also in Ready Player One, so she's done like kind of like a big Hollywood movie too, and she's in that age range too, where she's kind of like young enough to play, like she could probably play the role for like 10 years.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yeah,
I feel like Jean Grey, like the actress who plays her, you have a lot of leeway with who you could choose.
Yeah.
There's no like notable characteristics that stick out, at least to me.
Just have red hair. That's like it. I guess. Not even. That's not even exclusive.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, because what's her face?
She hasn't even had red hair.
Yeah, but all right. I actually went with an actress that I only recently discovered. And this is like this is a little bit of a trend with mine. Is like I tried to go for a little bit lesser known people. And I actually went with Nell Tiger Free from The First Omen.
Oh yeah, that would actually be. Yeah, it's a really good pick.
I think that she's young and fresh enough that she's like the type of actor that Marvel goes after. Like they usually go after someone who's fresh off doing something small, and then they scoop them up and lock them in for a couple years to contracts. She was great in that movie. Really fantastic performance. And I feel like she definitely could pull off the character. Like I said, there's not like anything specifically about her that draws me to Jean. Like I also think she could play Rogue if she wanted.
Yeah.
But I just think that she's a great actress, and I would like to see her in something with superheroes because I'm a freaking nerd, I guess. But
no, it's a good.
Yeah, pick. Nell Tiger Free for me.
And I also could definitely see her like doing the whole Dark Phoenix arc really well.
Yeah, with like that madness sort of thing that she had. That's not. I honestly didn't even think about that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's honestly why I thought you picked her. Is like from.
I mean,
honestly, I thought you were gonna pick.
That's why I picked her.
I thought you were gonna pick Sadie Sink.
I was thinking Sadie Sink. That was like my first thought.
She's too young,
I was like,
I think.
That's too basic. Like it's literally just because she has orange hair. Like
she could do it. I think if she.
I wanted her to play Supergirl.
Yeah, she could have done Supergirl. I mean, who could? I don't know who she would be.
But I mean, dude, she's definitely like up there. I would not be mad at all if she played Jean Grey. But yeah, I'm also thinking like, imagine Sadie Sink with like Jeremy Allen White going after her. Like I don't know if that would
Yeah, like that doesn't.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I think she is a little young. But all right, yeah. So that's it, right, for the cast.
Yeah, I have like way more still, just because I went off. But yeah,
maybe another episode we'll do
another episode.
But all right, yeah. So let's move on now to the last movie of the day, which I actually recommended on episode 47, and that is the film Logan, directed by James Mangold. It's probably his best movie.
Yeah,
or maybe like I think he did Ford vs Ferrari too.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you can argue this is just as good.
Yeah, and basically this film follows Wolverine. It's set in 2029, so it's years after like all the X-Men are dead at this point in the universe. And I also didn't know this, but it actually takes place on a different Earth than the previous X-Men movies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually on IMDb, I was like looking at the trivia section.
That's something they retcon for like Logan. I mean, for Deadpool.
It says this movie takes place 6 years after Wolverine woke up in an alternate 2023 at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past. However, it was later confirmed that the previous X-Men movies took place on Earth 10005, while Logan takes place on Earth 17315. So the fact that they have these specific numbers, I feel like it was like someone came out and said this.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, it takes place on a separate Earth. It has no continuity with the original X-Men movies, but it's basically like a Wolverine who's kind of like at the end of the line. The adamantium in his body is starting to poison him, so he's like slowly dying from adamantium poisoning.
He can't heal like he used to.
He can't heal like he used to. He's having trouble with his claws. There's honestly some some like really disgusting like body horror stuff with his character. I don't know if like that scene where he has to like pull the claw out of his hand.
Him taking the bullets out of his like shoulder or his body.
Yeah. And also, what's it called? There's the scene where like you kind of see pus like coming out of his claw holes, like disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of brings me back to the rating of the film, which is that it's rated R, and it was like the second sort of modern day Marvel movie to be rated R after Deadpool. I think they sort of saw the success of Deadpool, and then we're like, all right, let's do this rated R, sort of old man Logan type of movie.
Yeah, but I feel like this is such a darker movie than Deadpool.
Yeah, definitely. Because that uses R rating for like crudeness and comedy. This uses it for
like gore and like
disturbing scenes, things like that, disturbing topics. But yeah, it's really unlike any other superhero movie. There's no superhero movie like it.
Oh no. It's basically a Logan character study.
Yeah. And yeah, you could tell like Hugh Jackman really cares about this character.
Yeah.
Just in his performance. He said that this was his most difficult like pre-production and like getting into shape to play the character.
Oh, really?
Which it makes sense. I mean, this was like he's older in this.
Yeah.
I feel like for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is coming out soon, like he probably didn't have to get in insane shape.
No,
because he's wearing that suit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like a character like Wolverine really benefits from having that R rating because you can make him have these brutal kills. Like his skill set, like the weapons he used, it like makes a lot of sense for him to, like the way he kills people is literally like stabbing them in the head.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense for it to be R rated.
R rated, yeah.
I'm trying to think like how does he even kill people in the other like the PG-13 movies? Does he just like does it not show blood?
No blood, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like not as cool.
No.
But then yeah, you also have Professor X in the movie that I thought like what they did with his character was very smart, and it also like explains why there's no other X-Men around. And it's that he sort of is like senile. He's really old, so he can't like control his powers, and he gets these seizures that basically when he seizes, he like I don't know what exactly he does, but his mind sort of like blasts energy, and it causes like basically the world to stop and people can't move. And they keep mentioning how there was this event in Westchester that happened, which is where the X-Mansion is. That he sees, and it ended up killing a bunch of the X-Men, which is like a very like dark thing, and he has to live with the fact that he killed these X-Men who are like, you know, they're his students and like his family basically. That also I think is partly why like Wolverine's depressed. All the X-Men are dead.
You see, like he just drinks. Like all he does is just drink and basically just take care of Professor X.
Yeah. And then obviously there's this X-23 character, which is like a big part of the movie. I don't think that is part of the Old Man Logan story in the comics. It's not, right? So they took a liberty with that, and I think it worked out really well. Having like this old, worn down Wolverine character like saving and helping this you know young mutant that's going to end up being like basically ensuring the safety of mutant kind because she has to get to this sanctuary with a bunch of other mutants. I didn't know that was Daphne Keene's first role until I watched, and in the opening credits it said like introducing Daphne Keene, which is like, you know,
usually they say for like a newer actress,
or if it's like their first movie they say it like introducing. Yeah, she was pretty great. I forgot how young she was in this.
Yeah.
But I really loved her character, just like she didn't give a fuck. Like when that scene where she goes in the store and just steals all the shit and like puts the sunglasses on. It was cool seeing her interact with Wolverine.
Yeah.
I also
Wolverine
thought
kind of have to be the responsible one.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting how like she didn't give a fuck about like his authority at all.
Yeah.
She like just didn't listen to him, like fought with him and shit, and just like didn't care. Yeah, and then it turns out that they used his blood to make her. So like, I don't know if that
is.
Like
I mean, they say his daughter. They reference her as his daughter a couple times.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I might be wrong, but when he's dying, I'm pretty sure she says like "daddy." I don't know if you caught that. I could have just been imagining things,
maybe.
but yeah, it's like a very heartbreaking story of. But what did you think of the decision to kill him? And do you think that the fact that he's coming back for this new Deadpool movie, do you think it like lessens the impact of the story overall, or
I think it's this movie in Deadpool is probably just going to be like a Wolverine from a different Earth. It's just played by the same actor, so I feel like that's how they're going to get around it.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I feel like I remember when this movie first came out, like if you had told me around then, like, oh yeah, Wolverine's just gonna come back, I probably would have been like disappointed and would have been like, what the fuck. But I feel like with all this multiverse stuff that they've been doing recently, like it's clear how they're gonna handle this.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna affect Logan.
No,
or at least how I view it.
No.
Yeah, it seems like there was a lot of like inspiration from like old westerns.
Yeah. I thought the action was really good. I forgot how good, especially like I was just gonna say my favorite scene is the scene where X-23 is like first introduced, like with all those like guards, and like you kind of just see her like fight for the first time.
Yeah, and like for people who aren't comic book nerds and like know who X-23 is, that scene's probably like very like almost jaw dropping because like you see this little girl and then these like heavily armed men pull up and you hear all the screaming. She walks out with the guy's head and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then it is like revealed that she has claws. I also thought it was cool how she had the 2 claws in her hands and like one on her foot.
Yeah.
They mentioned that it's because of her gender. Like Professor X.
Oh, I didn't pick up.
Yeah, Professor X has like this moment of dialogue where he's like, "Oh, it's because of her gender. Like the females have to have claws on their hands to attack and then feet to defend because they're usually like defending their young or something." He says something like along those lines.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. I just think it's cool that she has a claw on her foot.
Yeah. No, it looks sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like made for some cool kills.
What did you think about them doing like just kind of a younger Wolverine as the villain of the movie?
I wasn't the biggest fan of it. That's actually one of my problems with the movie.
Yeah. I didn't like looking back, especially because now I'm such a big X-Men fan. Like I feel like there's so many they could have used like an actual like Wolverine or X-Men villain in that role.
Yeah, let's just say what's the name of the company?
What?
The company that fucking hold on. Transigen?
Oh.
Like instead
of makes the kids, yeah. They could have just made that like
they could have just like hired a mutant to go kill him instead of like having a clone.
They could have just said that like not even make a clone or just say that let's say they go after that like whatever that company and they could say it's like Mr. Sinister because that's what he does. He like basically creates mutants and shit. Like that would be like a perfect That's like what his shit is. That's what.
I mean, I feel like it's too grounded for someone like Mr. Sinister. Like, how would he look?
Yeah, that's true.
At that point, he'd just be like a man in a suit, which I feel like we would complain about that. They could have been like, oh, Transigen reached out to Sabretooth and hired Sabretooth to go kill him.
Yeah, they could have done Sabretooth. They could have. You're right. Like, instead of. I felt kind of lazy, in my opinion, but.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting in some ways where it's like you're seeing this younger, like more advanced Wolverine than you're seeing like our Wolverine who's just completely worn down and he like can't really keep up. So that is interesting. And like the fact that he's literally fighting himself, which is like symbolic for, he's like fighting it. He's basically killing himself in other ways besides physically with like the alcoholism and that. I thought the other villain, like the one played by Boyd Holbrook, I thought he was pretty
cyborg good. Dude. Yeah, he was good.
I forgot, like I didn't really remember his character, but when he first appears and like he gets in the back of the truck, the back of the limo, that was like a good scene. Yeah. I thought he was.
And then
really
when he first pulls up on the ranch, like when he's talking to them, that was another good scene.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie was like very advanced compared to most superhero movies. I didn't know this, but it was the first superhero film to be nominated for the best adapted screenplay. at the Oscars. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I remember people loving it, but I didn't realize it was that like critically acclaimed to the point where it was Oscar nominated.
Yeah, I mean, it is very good.
Yeah, it's definitely very good.
I mean, honestly, if this came out now, it would definitely get high praise still.
Yeah, definitely.
If anything, you could argue it would get even higher praise because of the recent, like the way superhero movies have been coming out recently.
Yeah, I'm surprised Daphne Keane has like not been in anything since this. I know she's gonna be in The Acolyte.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. She probably maybe she just wanted to not act. A lot of child actors, if they get a big role, they like chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I just was looking into some of the behind the scenes stuff online. Apparently, Millie Bobby Brown auditioned for X-23.
Really? I mean, she would have been good in the role too.
Yeah, I don't know if she would have been as good because I don't think she was. This was like it must have filmed in 2015. Like I don't know if she was that young, was she?
When Stranger Things season 1?
Actually, yeah. No, you're right. She actually probably was that young. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I really like the film. I don't think like it's the best superhero movie ever made or anything.
No. I think it's just because it's like kind of like elevated storytelling, and it was one of the first superhero movies to do that. I feel like. Well, I mean, that's not true with Dark Knight and stuff like that. But even so, you could argue the themes in this are a little bit deeper than The Dark Knight.
Yeah, definitely. The Dark Knight is like serious, but it's not. It doesn't have like really dark themes.
Yeah, like it's about like loneliness and like dealing with death and of everyone eventually done it.
Mm-hmm.
What was you didn't say your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was, although I didn't like the clone overall, I think that scene where he kills Professor X and like just kills the entire family was probably my favorite scene because it was the most shocking. It was just like I didn't think they were gonna kill that whole family.
Neither did I.
That is like insane.
I forgot that happened too.
Yeah, me too. He literally kills a kid and like just an innocent ass family. They're supposed to. They're made to be like a very generous, like nice family.
So,
they literally like take in Wolverine and Professor X and like feed them a dinner, let them stay over, and like they just get murdered. I thought that was a very effective scene, and it kind of showed. It also showed how like the clone was completely mindless, and it just didn't matter.
There's no like humanity to it.
Yeah, literally kills a child, kills whoever in its way. But yeah, I was gonna ask, like, I forgot about how they killed the clone. So adamantium bullet, that's enough to like kill Wolverine.
I think like because it can penetrate his skull because it's made of adamantium, and it would kill him, like for hitting the brain.
So because I feel like Deadpool, he could get stabbed in the brain and still like heal. So Wolverine's powers work different.
Yeah.
So if he got shot through the brain, he wouldn't survive.
I think it's supposed to be in this, like, because he's older, he wouldn't be able to heal. But the thing is, like, they need the adamantium bullet because his skull is like adamantium. So in order to penetrate it, they need like.
That makes sense. I feel like one of the other X-Men movies, he gets shot in the head and it just like comes out, like the bullet comes out of his head. But and then like favorite characters got to be Logan. Although I did think Patrick Stewart gave a pretty great performance in the movie as well as Professor X. Him as a side character, I think, was really great. And him sort of like trying to bring the humanity out of Logan a lot.
Yeah.
Like that scene where he's like, Logan, like it's not too late for you. Like this is what family like life is like.
Yeah.
And also, his death scene was done pretty well. But I wonder if they were ever planning on continuing like X-23's story after this.
I think they were. I'm pretty sure they were gonna do another movie, and it was gonna be like about her. Like, don't quote me on it, but I feel like it had to do with her going after like the scientists. And I don't know if they would have done Sinister, but that would have been the movie.
Yeah, maybe after like Disney bought Fox, they sort of like just shelved everything.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have anything else to say about the movie though. I'm glad that I rewatched it. I like forgot a lot of what happened, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good refresher because it'll definitely be mentioned in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the fact that he died will probably be mentioned for sure, and X-23 might appear. I hope she does.
I saw that she has like a decent role in the movie.
Really?
Her and Gambit.
Maybe they'll be in the void, and like they'll make a
I
little
feel like,
team in the void or something. But all right, yeah, I guess to rate it, I gave it a 4-star, 8 out of 10. I know this is like a lot of people give this like a 4.5 or even a 5-star, but it just didn't strike me enough to be on that level. I feel like if there was a better villain besides like the clone, I think I would have liked it.
Yeah, what do they
I
call
would have
it?
liked it a little bit
X-24?
more. Yeah, X-24.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked. It was definitely like advanced for the time of like what we knew superhero movies as.
Yeah.
It's like completely different than anything we've seen. And seeing Hugh Jackman, who's like done the silly X-Men stuff, also do like this, dark, depressing story. It was definitely refreshing for the time. And looking back, it still does hold up, and it's very good.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I gave it a 4-star as well. Same thing. I remember when the first time I watched it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I said it was like the best superhero movie I've ever seen. But it's still very good. But I don't think I don't hold it as highly as I thought I did.
yep, still amazing though.
Yeah.
All right, we can wrap up the episode. I think we actually do have a couple
I was gonna
questions
say,
from
we have any questions?
We have some questions from our loyal fans here. Let me pull them up. Give me just 1 second here. We've been getting pretty popular now on our Instagram, so.
No word.
All right, so we have a question from at Marvel Talk with Nick and Chris, who ask us, wouldn't it be great to see Matthew Lillard play a live-action Shaggy again? Yes, and I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna happen, especially with like James Gunn at one. I mean, I know he's not head of Warner Brothers, but he's high up in Warner Brothers, and didn't he write those movies?
Yeah, he wrote those movies.
Yeah,
but I feel like there had to at least be some talk behind the scenes of him playing Shaggy again.
well, aren't they doing a Netflix live action show?
Yeah, but that'll definitely be like a young Shaggy.
Yeah,
I feel like that's gonna have like Riverdale vibes.
most likely.
But yeah, thank you for the question. I hope that we see him again.
He would have been a good Carnage.
Matthew Lillard Carnage. I don't know if I could see that, honestly.
Really? You know the.
I feel like he'd have to be a little bit more menacing. He's like menacing in like a goofy way.
Like, you don't think him and Scream, like he would? That's like not Carnage.
Oh, I mean him and Scream, yeah. But if we're talking about like William Afton vibes, which is like
no, I'm talking more like him and how he's in. What's his character's name? Scream. I forgot.
Stu.
Stu.
Yeah. But all right. Thanks for the question. I hope he returns. Then we got a question from at Aman AK11 who asks, sorry if I mispronounced that. Who would you be most excited to see cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine? It's a great question. I feel like of all the names popping up, I feel like the one that would actually get me to be like, holy shit, they actually did this, would be if they do the Chris Evans Human Torch thing.
I feel like that's definitely going to happen.
That would be so funny if they did that.
I feel like that's more likely going to happen than some of the other ones I've seen.
Like if they bring him out and then like play the Captain America theme songs, and then all of a sudden he like flames on and becomes the Human Torch, it would just be really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a chance, but I don't know if Chris Evans would do it.
I really think he definitely would. He did the Free Guy coming out.
That's true. But yeah, I feel like for me it would be either Chris Evans or since I would like to see X-23 as well, since like we just watched that movie.
Kind of want to see like that like X-Men cast in their like comic accurate suits. Like seeing Cyclops in like the actual suit would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's like a list, but that I could go through of things I would enjoy, but
trying to think.
Yeah. I'll stick with my Chris Evans Human Torch. That's like the one that I feel like I'd be most excited to see.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you for the question. And last question from at sophia.k.ua, frequent question asker. Thank you for your support. She says, what is a movie that you think is underrated and deserves more recognition? Now, that is a great question. The one that always comes to mind for me when I think of underrated movies is, it's actually a rom-com. It's the movie What If, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver, and Zoe Kazan.
Seen that.
And Zoe Kazan. It's the one where like Adam Driver's like, I just had sex. I'm about to eat nachos. Like it's like that famous.
He plays like Daniel Radcliffe's friend, right?
Yeah. It's like a super funny rom-com with a great cast, and like, it's basically about this dude who like falls in love with his best friend, but she's in a relationship. She's like going to get married, and it's like navigating their friendship and, like how he deals with hhis feelings. I just think it's a super, super underrated movie. Like I gave it like a 4.5 after watching it. I go on Letterboxd, has like a 3.1 or something. And like I don't know a lot of people that have seen it, but that's one that like comes to mind a lot when I think of underrated movies. So I don't know if you have anything that shoots up to you.
Yeah, it's something I saw recently, and I'm surprised no one's like ever told me about it. And the movie Silence, directed by Martin Scorsese, and it's Adam Driver as well, and Andrew Garfield and Liam Neeson, and it's about these priests trying to spread Christianity in feudal Japan when Christianity is outlawed. But I don't know, like, just it's such a well shot movie, and like it's set in like this old like kind of Japanese town on the water, and like it's really good visuals, and I don't know. I feel like I've never heard anyone talk about it before. You were the only person to mention it to me.
Yeah, and considering it's Scorsese, like it's definitely one of his underrated for sure. Like when you think of Scorsese's best films, you think of like Goodfellas, and like Wolf of Wall Street, but you don't really think about Silence. But it actually is up there with one of his best.
Like I feel like so many people, like if I ask them, like if you ask like your friends if they've seen that movie, I feel like most of them haven't.
No shot.
I don't know why it's so good.
Yeah, I feel like it's what's the word? It's kind of intimidating to get into. You're like, all right, this 3-hour long movie about like Catholicism in Japan. It's kind of like, do I really want to sit through this?
Yeah. I guess like it's more of like a history kind of.
Yeah, it's like a little bit inaccessible to like the casual moviegoer.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, that's a great pick. That was a great question. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. So
yeah, if you guys want to ask us questions for next episode, we post Instagram polls, or you could join our Discord server where we actually have a channel for questions. We haven't had anyone ask us any questions in there, but we also only have like 2 members besides us, so hopefully we'll get up there. But yeah, that's really it. I guess I would say it's your turn to recommend a movie, Joe, but we actually have a giveaway going on right now for thanks to all you guys for getting us to 500 followers on Instagram. So we have a giveaway that ends this Wednesday, the 22nd, and the winner will actually decide the movie that we speak about on the next episode. So if you haven't already entered that, go ahead and join before then, and maybe we'll talk about your movie next episode.
And you could win a Dune 4K copy.
Yeah, we'll ship you a copy of Dune 2 in 4K as well. But yeah, I guess there's also some other movies that we'll talk about next episode. What else is coming out?
Furiosa, the Mad Max prequel.
Okay, so that's this weekend. Let's see what's next weekend.
And then Garfield. And then I don't know. I don't know what's coming out
next weekend is that movie In a Violent Nature. That's May 31st.
Oh, word.
I mean, I don't know if we'll talk about that, but I'll probably try to see it.
Yeah. What's coming out in June? I'm trying to think.
June, Inside Out 2, The Bike Riders, Kinds of Kindness,
I forgot
Quiet Place. That's in June.
Yeah. Wait, yo, did you know there's a Hellboy movie coming out this year?
This year?
Yeah.
I knew there was one coming out. I didn't know it was this year.
It's apparently a live action movie coming out in November, but I'm assuming it's gonna be horrible. Nothing is.
Yeah, we'll see. But all right, yeah, I guess that'll wrap up today's episode. Thank you everyone for listening. If you're new, we have all types of social media. Follow us on Instagram. Look at our letter boxes so you could see how we rate the movies that we don't discuss on the podcast. Follow us on X, join our Discord. I don't know what else to say. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back in 2 weeks. We'll definitely mention on our Instagram what the other movie is that we're going to talk about, but definitely go watch Furiosa, and then you'll be all ready to hear us talk about it for episode 49. So thanks everyone for listening.
See you.